Language. So today, language is used as the primary mode of communication. When I say language, it is the verbal communication. But I think not verbal communication is a very poor form of communication. I don't exactly remember the percentage of how much information it's transferred through verbal communication, but even with that, so in our culture they say when language is lost, culture is lost, and today we have lost our language. uh,
What is your language?
our my mother tongue is Kannada, but
Mm.
then we use English today
Mm.
for most of our communication, and even today as we are conversing we are using English.
Mm. So you mean the loss of Kannada was the loss of your culture?
I think it happened over the years. So if I take my grandmother, well,
Mm-hmm.
her Kannada, the Kannada she spoke, is still very different from what we speak. And then this is when I take just go like probably 10 generations back,
Mm-hmm.
it's even different.
We don't even know what it was.
Yeah, and if I take probably 500 years ago, we have no clue.
Right.
Visit many temples, there is some script written, we
Hmm.
don't even understand what it is.
Hmm.
Forget about understanding, we don't even know how to read it or
Hmm.
decode it.
Hmm.
That's the state. So we can easily say that we have lost our culture with our language, and they do rightly say that if we lose our language, we lose our culture.
Hmm.
So now what should be the language of our tribe, of our culture?
Mm-hmm. Um, let's look at it from a bigger perspective. Have a bigger lens for that. Like, be it English or Kannada or Sanskrit, Hindi, Telugu, or whatever. These were Indian languages. There could be French, German. What? See, we have to. There's something common to all these languages. What's common to all the languages? If you can go one step higher, it's speech, right? Let's look at it from the speech perspective. Of course, uh, if I have to classify speech, it's the sound that an individual makes. A bird makes a sound, similarly, human being makes a sound. And we have ears that can hear a variety of sounds that the other human being is producing. There are so many other sounds which are not within our auditory range. Um, yeah, there's a whatever is uttered by one human that the other human can relate to, accept, is considered speech, right? What do we actually need? We need speech only as of now. See, forget about the loss. Uh, what they say as lost is, of course, true. In fact, calling so many cultures as languages, right, is also a primary reason why they were lost. Like, once you call a culture as a language, the same people can start using a different language and say they are trying to follow the same culture, but they will neither be there nor here, and gradually they will lose their origins. That's exactly how the calling culture as language will result in losing that culture.
Mm.
Like Sanskrit is considered a language, but Samskriti is what the entire corpus of how you behave, how you eat, how samskara, samskriti. These are words which relate to a holistic picture of the culture of
Mm.
people. Calling them, uh, calling, considering all that information as just a particular language and all
Mm.
that was transmitted and written down in
Mm.
that language as capable of having a translation itself means that is lost. It's lost. A
Mm.
lot of tribes do not have an equivalent word for I in their language. So there are the word that they use for their entire tribe or for their individual self is the same. So there is nothing like me separate from the tribe,
Mm.
right? So if you try to translate their language into English or English into their language, where individual references is given, you will not have an equivalent word at all. And if you invent a word for them, then you have transformed their culture already.
Yeah.
So for the tribe, what I envision is that all the relevant information in its most truthful sense, in its most original sense that we can convey, whatever language it is in, we will convey and communicate. The language that the tribe uses, I foresee as an amalgamation of multiple languages because the cultures, like the elements we adopt, could be from different cultures, and whatever original words were there, we intend to retain it. And if there is, through internal discovery, an alternative, a better syllable, like we have the root syllables or the letters in the alphabet. The English alphabet is limited, a lot of sounds are not covered. So, all the sounds that a human can make, all the ways this oral cavity works, from there you have the matrika, they call it, the mother alphabet. Um, so from those syllables, whatever sounds, for each sound, if you get combinations, you realize that this is a better word for so and so that we are doing, then we can replace that in our culture as we go forward. But that's not a priority. That happens through discovery. What we will use is an amalgamation, and we see the fun. It's not um, hard and fast rule based culture that we are trying to envision. What we are envisioning is a culture of freedom, right? Why would there not be freedom even in terms of language?
Mm.
It would be interesting, and having multiple languages is quite funny too. Because certain words that certain people use in different languages have some weird meanings in some other language, and we can keep sitting and laughing day in and day out. Why don't you look at that possibility?